Diablo 4, you can call it a review because I've spent around 30, if not even more hours in the game, and I played with all three classes in this early beta access, with Rogue, Sorcerer, and Barbarian. The most time I spent in the game was with a Barbarian. And first of all, Diablo 4 is not a action RPG, it's an MMO action RPG. And that's a huge difference when you compare genres and when you want to compare this game to other action RPGs. It's not action RPG, it's MMO action RPG. That's the first thing. So we won't compare with Path of Exile, with Grim Dawn, with Diablo 3, with Diablo 2, or God forbid with Diablo 1 that is classic dungeon crawler. First thing is first. What's bad? Game stutters from time to time, but that's their servers, they're testing it. That's the only bad thing, and the opening that had huge waiting queues. An hour or so, and with a lot of DCs. Now the game works brilliantly well, and the queue is 1 minute, and you're insta-in without DCing. Okay, so that's already fixed. The next thing that's actually bad is you can zoom in, and this is the maximum zoom out. The game switches camera left and right, zooms in, zooms out, compared to the area you're in, but you can't zoom out further than this. I would love to see like 20% zoomed out camera more. Okay, because this is way too close. Maybe this is gonna be good when you play the game on a gamepad on a TV, but when you're in front of your screen, playing on a PC, this is way too freaking close. That's the first thing. And the things that are bad, okay, that should be fixed. The next thing and the last thing that's bad is the overall balance of the game. Playing as a barbarian, the game is challenging, it's perfectly balanced. It's absolutely amazing. Playing as a sorcerer, you're OP, you can play blindfolded, you one-shot stuff no matter what build of sorcerer you play. So either barbarian requires a huge buff or a sorcerer requires a huge nerf. Playing as a rogue is a mix of a sorc and barbarian. Rogue can be played as ranged and melee. And I can easily say that rogue is also stronger than barbarian. So barbarian, even though it's the most fun to play with, it's also the weakest class in a game, by far. No matter what build you play. I played all builds with barbarian. So I played the bleed build, torn build, bash build, stun build, upheaval, kick, tanky build with iron skin. I tested all ultimates. Definitely the best one is Iron Maelstrom and so on. But all of this is very fun to play with. But he's just weak. So overall balance of the game needs to be fixed. Other classes, they need to be tuned down drastically. Sorcerer like 3 times tuned down. Rogue 2 times. So they be equal with Barbarian. Or you buff Barbarian up. But then the game won't be as interesting as it is now. Because now there is challenge. On a veteran difficulty. They gave 2 difficulties to play. Some easy mod and veteran mod. That's it. Story. I haven't figured out much of the story. Lilith awakens. She's the creator of the Sanctuary. Sanctuary is the world map you're looking at. And she created Sanctuary with Imperius, a fallen angel. And now there's some feud between Lilith and Imperius. That's all we know. Whether they're gonna awake brothers, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal, or not, what's Lilith's agenda, what's Imperius' agenda, we don't know. Imperius agenda should be to return back to heaven because he's cast out, and we don't know thing about Lilith. That's about it with the story. Now, considering writing, for the main quest, writing is solid. For side quests, writing is bad. But I wasn't even expecting it to be good, because this is action RPG, and everything that it revolves around is the actual gameplay, combat, and of course the end game. So those that require story from a game, skip Diablo and play something else. I don't say how story is bad, it's just bad writing. Darker than Diablo 3, less darker than Diablo 1, so it's something in between of Diablo 1 and Diablo 3. Now, the game works brilliantly well, everything on ultra settings. Like, it's gonna be optimized to perfection for the full release, I guess. So, quality, you can smell money in the game, it's pure quality. Like really pure quality. As far as how long it will be, 30 hours to do all of this. And I got I got 20 dungeons left. So only for this area that you see here, to finish everything to 100% this area, with all side quests, with all dungeons, with all events, I would say around 50 hours. And if this is 50 hours, and this is half of Act 1, there's 6 acts. At least when you look at the challenges, you can see there are 6 acts in total in the game. If this is Act 1 and it's half of Act 1, and it requires 50 hours to finish, this is all left undiscovered. Okay, so we can say 50 hours, 100 hours, 150, 250, 300, plus the world bosses, plus the dungeons, plus everything combined, should be around 300 to 400 hours. Main game, main campaign. Huge game. And then is the end game that we don't know anything about. End game should have a ladder, it should have PvP, PvE, world bosses, main bosses, greater rifts like in Diablo 3, probably some new dungeons, okay, probably bounties like in Diablo 3. God knows what it's gonna have. It's gonna have seasons. You're gonna pay $10 for a season, and season will last for 3 months, and then you're gonna play, okay, they're gonna introduce new content non-stop, probably new heroes too. New events, new things to play, similar like they do in Path of Exile, okay, so we can only guess how the end game is gonna be, and that's the most important thing. So when we talk about Diablo 4, people are saying how it's more for casual players than, for example, Path of Exile. How can you say it? Have you played Diablo 4 endgame on Torment 20? So you can claim that it's more like that. We don't know a thing about it. The end game is what matters, and we can't speak about it. But I believe it's gonna be like thousands of hours worth of game time, and that's good enough. More than good enough. For example, you want to compare. I said thousands of hours for Diablo 4. I can finish Path of Exile in 3 days on a higher tier maps. When you know what you're doing, even Path of Exile is not as complex as it seems to be. And I believe this one is gonna be bigger. Even now it looks bigger. Maps, graphics, there should be 120 dungeons. There is a rumor there's gonna be hell also on top of this map. Perhaps even heaven, that's gonna be equally as big as this one. Map variety is freaking huge, graphics are perfect for action RPG. There's a lot of detail. combat animations are... They are amazing, okay? Combat animations are straight up freaking amazing. I got nothing bad to say about this topic, okay? It looks brilliant, it plays brilliant, it feels brilliant. There's nothing else you can ask from an action RPG or from an MMO. Gameplay, most similar to Diablo 3. I would say, like I said in my first impression about Diablo 4, I can say it's 40% Diablo 3, 20% Path of Exile, 20% Diablo 2, and 20% Diablo 1. All of those games combined into one game would be Diablo 4. Now, how does it feel to play? It feels rewarding, addictive, fun, juicy combat, tons of things to do, okay? Whether you want to chase those side quests, whether you want to chase the world boss, whether you want to chase random events, alone, with friends, with random people, your choice. And this is all in beta, by the way. They can add more. On top of this all that you can do, they can easily add more. So again, we don't know much. Because you can't judge game from the beta. It's drastic to change. Leveling. You can't put attribute points like you did in previous Diablo games, okay? Most of the stats, they come from items, but at least items are now fun comparing to Diablo 3. All items change how you play the game and how you level up. So if you find gloves, for example, with a ground stamp that turns ground stamp into an earthquake, then you go to your abilities and you play a ground stamp build. You can easily refund, it's very cheap to refund and test and play multiple builds along the way. So, there are no classic build like in other action RPGs, you know, where you're limited. For example, in Path of Exile, you play the entire game to find specific armor and specific weapon with bigger numbers, and you stick with your build. No, here you find a weapon, and then you change your build accordingly to a weapon. And I kinda like it more like this. Why? Because it offers variety. You won't get bored. Okay. If I had fun, for example, when I was playing this beta, I had fun with a Gargoyle Greatsword. And I was playing with Bleed for hours. And then the hammer dropped, changed to Bash. Okay. To completely different build. No penalties, nothing. You just pay 2,000-3,000 gold, refund, and off you go with a different build. I tested almost every skill in the game with all classes. And I really like it because it's like that. Because you can't get bored. Okay, when I play Path of Exile and I finish my build, for example, I get bored in less than 2 days. Because I'm spamming the same build non-stop and I'm searching for a weapon that's gonna have +5 bigger damage. +1 bigger crit chance. There is none of that in Diablo 4. What you find, that's how you make your build. And that's the leveling part. You can say it depends a lot on itemization, or better to say on items. As far as items go, you can upgrade items, you can salvage items, you can buff items, you can implement sockets in items, you can extract sockets from items, you can buff your flasks, you got consumables, you got I don't know what, okay, there's like 15 different things to do as far as leveling and itemization go, and that's only in beta. Once the end game is there, there's gonna be 50 different things to do. I guess that's good enough. More than good. Now, as far as enemies go and bosses, Diablo 4 probably has the best bosses in action RPG history. Simple as that. Best made bosses, best looking bosses, most unique bosses, longest fights. Okay, fights really last long. And it's challenging, but that depends on the class you play. They need to balance things out. Enemies, also tons of different enemies to slay. It's fun, and it has huge variety. Music is phenomenal. The game is fully voice acted. Sound effects are a mix of Diablo 1, Diablo 2, and Diablo 3, put into Diablo 4 with new music. Now, how would I rate the game in beta? For the amount of fun I have, and I'm only talking about fun because we can't talk about anything else because everything is gonna change, the amount of fun I had was 9 out of 10. Very few games I'm able to do these days for 13, 14 hours in a row. I did Diablo 4 for that period of time. Okay, one stream, 13 hours. The last time I did that was with Breath of the Righteous. And I would easily give it fun factor 10 out of 10. How it's gonna be on a full release, no one knows. The game has potential, it looks promising. I believe it's gonna be a great game. I really believe it's gonna be a great game. Also, what you got in Diablo 4? You also got the gambling factor. Okay, there's that too, I forgot. I haven't seen any monetization, okay? They're probably gonna introduce monetization with a full release, where you can buy cosmetics, as long as they don't interrupt the game balance, the ladder. Okay? As long as they don't interrupt the actual gameplay with microtransactions, then it's fine. If they interrupt the gameplay, then it's trash. And the game is dead. That's how it is. No matter if it's good or not, it's dead. The moment you see microtransactions, it's dead. Now, what worries me, talking about that, when I pre-ordered this Ultimate Edition, it was $100, and I think that I'll start from level 20. When the game starts in June, I'll be able to play like 4 days in advance, and I'll be level 20. That's already a mini microtransaction. That's already a huge boost, 20 levels. And it comes up with a pre-order. That's what worries me. Now, I don't know if I got anything else to add. We can talk about the game mechanics, what it's got. It got Codex of Power. Every time when you unlock a new dungeon and you kill a dungeon boss, you get a specific power-up for a specific class that you can implement in your armor or in your weapon and switch the thing with a star. Okay. Unique ability of a legendary weapon. That's what dungeon crawling does for items right now in beta. There's challenges. There's 1 million challenges in collections. Okay, and they give different rewards, titles, blah blah blah. There's really a lot. Judging by, and this is a mini spoiler, judging by challenges, I was checking them out yesterday. There's gonna be a butcher boss fight. There's gonna be Diablo. And all of those old school bosses in Diablo 4. What else? There are clans, of course, like in every MMO. UI is extremely good, it's extremely clean, and the final thing that I'm gonna add, the game plays well on a gamepad. It's if you wanna play on a gamepad, you should play on easier difficulties, and then it's fun. On the harder difficulties, it ain't that fun because you can't target properly. Okay, you can't mix those combos that well on a gamepad like you can with a mouse and keyboard. And that's it. There's nothing else left to say. There are those stats, okay, that you can check out here. Classic numbers, nothing special. With all of these crafting materials, you upgrade different stuff. And there's the weapon expertise. That's it for now. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna wait for the open beta, because this was closed beta, early access. We're gonna wait for open beta, where they're gonna give Necromancer and Druid to play, and I'll play them also, just through the main campaign till level 20 to check out the spells and skills, nothing else. And then we wait for summer, for Diablo to release. I was skeptic before playing Diablo 4. I thought it's gonna be garbage, MOBA-like crap, game for kids, blah blah blah, you know, classic stuff. But it's actually the opposite. The game should be great on a full release. Game of the Year contender. Good enough. If not Game of the Year. That's it. There's nothing else left for me to see. Fight. We wait for Necro and Druid now. In 5-6 days from now. Guys. There won't be a stream tomorrow. I wanna rest. I don't wanna play a fucking thing. And I'm off to eat something, watch TV, and go to bed and actually sleep for one night if I can, because I'm bloody that tired. Ever did XCOM 2 on YouTube? I don't know. I think I have a playthrough of XCOM 2, but I don't know if I did a review for it. I think not. If Pink Hat has the best stats, I'll take it, yeah. Hopefully it won't happen. Will there be many builds per class? Yeah, there will be. I would say at least 10 different builds per class. For the start, if not even more. We can't tell, okay? This is just a scratch. This is like 3% of the game, okay? What you've seen that I played is 5% of the game. Realize that the entire 95% of the game is missing. Plus the end game content. We can only talk about mechanics, and those are perfect. Diablo Immortal, as far as I understood, it was first of all it was made for mobiles, and second of all it was made for Asian market because they like to play games with microtransactions. Right, and it was a success. If we hate it here in Europe and in USA, that doesn't mean that Asia hates Immortal. They're still playing it. They're wasting their money on it. This is completely different thing than Diablo Immortal. Immortal was a good business move. They earned like crazy. Do I think seasons will be paid? I already said it's gonna be $10 per season. Season will last 3 months. A season pass will be $10. So basically, you wanna play 10 seasons, you pre-order the game for $100. That's the game that costs you $100 for 10 seasons, 30 months. If you're gonna play the game for 2.5 years. This is their last chance, okay? Diablo 4 is their last chance to fix everything they have in Blizzard. Because let's be real, Blizzard is dying, Hearthstone is dying, Immortal is dying, World of Warcraft died, okay, only hardcore players remain. StarCraft died centuries ago, Diablo 2 resurrected, just sold well but no one plays it anymore. Blizzard is half dead. This is the last chance to recover, and they can't fuck up Diablo 4. And everything looks good so far. They won't fuck it up. You got numbers for Hearthstone, check it out. Hearthstone, you know why Hearthstone died? Hearthstone died because they bombard with packs and cards on every 3 days, man. And that lasts for years now. And the game keeps changing and changing and changing. Hearthstone was actually the best in Season 1. It was really good, it was really competitive, and it was fun. When they introduced those cards that can play 15 times in a row, that's when Hearthstone broke apart. What is Hearthstone? Hearthstone is a classic example when you overdo something. Okay, they overdid it. They just way too freaking much. That's why it's dying, because it's way too much. No one wants to enter the game. Like, I haven't played Hearthstone. I was playing Hearthstone a lot. Way before I had a YouTube channel and before I started streaming. I was playing Hearthstone a lot. I was in top 100 every season. Okay. And then I wasn't playing for a month or so. I come back in Hearthstone. Holy fuck, new DLCs are out, new cards, new this, new that. And I was like, get the fuck out. Who's gonna farm again? For what? And they keep doing that for 5-6 years in a row. Just a dead game. In my opinion, is Diablo 4 worth purchasing? Yes, it is. It is. Of course it is. If you got a lot of free time to play. Because it's gonna be a long game. Very long one. Yeah, they also had Heroes of Storm. That was an epic failure too. They lost that hard compared to other MOBAs. Failure after failure. Last chance to recover is Diablo 4. It will be. It will be. Guys, next stream in 2 days. If not even 3 days. I don't wanna look at a PC for the next 24 to 48 hours. Will I set up my clan? Yeah, on a full game release, I will. I will. We'll open a clan. Guys, good night. See ya back in 2 or 3 days with something else, and then when Druid and Necro are out, I'll also test them out. People, thanks for watching.